I, 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 Good morning, Bruchim Habaim. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to Temple Israel of Catskill, where our virtual doors remain wide open and where everyone is welcome. We're continuing with our Yom Kippur morning service. We have a lot of standing in this service. As we know, when we rise, it is a reflection of the inner rising that these prayers call us to do. So whether you actually stand, whether you're able to, I invite all of us to do the inner rising together. We're continuing in our Machzor Mishkan HaNefesh, our Yom Kippur Machzor, on page 178. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai Mevorach Leolam Ba'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, HaPotech Lanu Sha'arei Rachamim Ume'ir Einei Hamachakim Lislichato, Yotzer Or Choshech, Ose Shalom Borei et Hakol, Or Olam Be'otzar Chayim, Orot Me'ovel Amar, Vayehi. Infinite light is preserved in life's treasure house. Lights from the darkness, said God, and it was so. Page 180. Hameir la'aretz Biladarim aleha v'rachamim uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit marabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam b'chochma asita mala haaretz ki hinyanecha tibrach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha v'al meoreo she'asita yifa'arucha Selah, Or Chadash, Al Tza'ir, Tamir, V'nizker, Chulanu Mehera Leorot, Baruch Atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMorot. Our praise to you, Adonai, creator of the cosmic lights. Page 186. 182. Ahava Rabbah, Ahavtanu, Ahava Rabbah, Ahavtanu. love abundant, love unstinting. Our God, you have enfolded us in love. 186. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please make yourselves comfortable as we continue with the Shema on page 188. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibart bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech u'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chsavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvish arecha. Page 196. The words our ancestors sang as one voice, giving thanks and in awe of the miracle that the divine had blessed them with. A release from slavery and an entrance to freedom. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norat hilot osefele, shira chadasha, shibchu geulim l'shimcha, al sfat hayam, yachad kulam, hodu v'himlechu, yamru, Adonai yimloch leolam vaed. Please rise, Tzur Yisrael, Kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, uvtech kinumecha, Yehuda Yisrael, go'aleinu. Adonai Tzivaot, Shemo, Kadosh Yisrael. Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Blessed are you in our lives, Eternal One, who redeemed Israel. Page 198. Adonai, Sifatai tiftach, ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. 199. Misod chachamim unbonim umilemed dat mevinim. Eftechafi bitfilah uvtachanuni b'chalot ulchanim pnei melech maleh rachamim mochel v'soleach la'avonim. Guided by the wisdom of our tradition and the spiritual insights of our sages, I open myself through prayer to the sovereign of compassion. I open up my lips to seek the soul of forgiveness. Page 200. Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim V'koneh hakol V'zocher chasdevo ba'imahot U'mevi geula livnei b'neihem Leman shemo b'yahava. Recall the loving deeds of our fathers and mothers and bring redemption to their children's children, acting in love for the sake of your name. Page 202. Zohreinu lechayim melech hafetz b'chayim b'chodveinu b'sefer hachayim l'mancha Elohim chayim melech ozeh shia u'magen. Remember us for life, sovereign God, who treasures life. Inscribe us in the book of life for your sake, Adonai of life, sovereign of salvation, pillar of protection. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, v'ezrat Sarah. Page 204. Ata gibor leolam Adonai, mechayeh hakol rav l'hoshia, murid hata, mechalchel chayim b'chesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofer cholim, umatir azurim umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha ba'al hagivurot umidomeh lach melech memit umechayeh umatzmiach yeshua mi Chamocha el harachamim zoche yitzurav l'chaim berachamim v'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol. Power beyond power, from whom salvation springs, sovereign over life and death. Who is like you, merciful God, who compares with you with tender compassion? You remember all creatures for life, faithful and true, worthy of our trust. You sustain our immortal yearnings. In you we place our undying hopes. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye Hakol. Wellspring of blessings, powerful, eternal. You are the one who gives and renews all life. Page 208. ובכן ולך תעלה קדושה, כי אתה אלוהינו מלך מוהל וסולח. O sovereign God of pardon and forgiveness, let these words of sanctity ascend to you. Token Kiddushat hayom, ki hu nora v'yayom, uvo tinaseh malachutecha, v'yikom b'chesed kisecha, v'teshev alav be'emet. In truth, you are judge and plaintiff, counselor and witness. You inscribe, you unseal, you record, you recount. You remember all we have forgotten. And when you open the book of memories, it speaks for itself. For every human hand leaves its mark and imprint like no other. 210. ובשופר גדול ייתקע, וקול דממה דקה יישמע, ומלאכים יחפצו, וחיל ורעדה יאחזו, ויאמרו היננו הדין לפקוד על צבא מרום בעתיד, כי לא יזכו בניך בעתיד. All who come into the world pass before you, like sheep before their shepherd. as a shepherd considers a flock when it passes beneath the staff. You count and consider every life. You set bounds, you decide destiny. You inscribe judgments. 212 Berosh Hashanah Yikatevun Ubiyom Tzom Kippur Yom Tzom Kippur Yechatemun. On Rosh Hashanah this is written, and on the fast of Yom Kippur this is sealed. How many? Which ones of us, who among us will pass away from this world? Who will be born into it? Who will live and who will die? Who will reach the ripeness of age? Who will be taken before their time? 2:14. Uteshuva, utefila, utzdaka, ma'avirim et roa hagzera. But through the return to the right path, through the prayer and righteous giving, we can transcend the harshness of the decree. You are everything that we praise you for, slow to anger, quick to forgive. You do not wish the death of sinners, but urge them to return from their ways and live until the day of death. You wait for them, you accept them at once if they return. Since you create us, you know our impulses. We are but flesh and blood. 2:16. Middle of the page. El Chai V'Kayam. But for you, ever-living sovereign, time has no limits. Your presence, unbounded by days and years, is everywhere. A glorious mystery none can decipher. Your name is worthy of you, and you are worthy of your name. And our name you have linked with yours. Page 218. Mikadesh et Shimcha ba'olam ki shem shimati shimoto bishme maro kakatuv היה נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוא הארץ כבודו אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו אחד הוא אלוהינו הוא אבינו הוא מלכנו הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמן לעיני כל חי. Our God is one. Avinu and Malkeinu, sovereign, source of life and liberation, revealing with mercy to all who live. Ani Adonai Elohechem, I am Adonai, your God. Page 220. Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Zion, Lidor vador, Hallelujah. Lidor vador, Lidor vador, Lidor vador, Nagi God lecha. Lidor vador, Lidor nagid God lecha, ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatcha naqdish, kedushatcha naqdish. V'shirchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush, leolam va'ed. Lidor vador, Lidor vador, Lidor vador nagid God lecha. Lidor vador, Lidor vador, Lidor vador nagid God lecha. Ki hamelech gadol, v'kadosh ata, v'kadosh ata. Ki hamelech gadol, v'kadosh ata, v'kadosh ata. 2:22. Adonai Elohim, al kol ma'asecha. And so, in your holiness, give all creation the gift of awe. Page 224. U'bechen, u'bechen, Yedidai, u'bechen, 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 ten kavod, Adonai le'amecha. And so, in your holiness, give your people the gift of honor. Page 226. U'bechen, u'bechen, Yedidai, u'bechen, u'bechen. U'bechen tzadikim yiru v'yismachu. And so, in your holiness, give the righteous the gift of a vision, right, with joy. 228, middle of the page. Kadosh ata v'norah shemecha. You are holy, your name is awe. There is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, The source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through righteousness. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, Holy Sovereign. Page 233. Zochreinu Adonai Eloheinu V'Tovah. Eternal our God, remember us. Ufakdeinu vo livracha. Eternal our God, be mindful of us. V'hoshienu vo lechayim. Eternal our God, remember us, be mindful of us, and redeem us for a life of goodness and blessings. 238. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Yamecha Yisrael. Eternal our God, your people Israel yearns for your favor. Receive our prayer with loving acceptance. Baruch atah Adonai HaMachazir Shechinato L'Tzion. Blessed are you whose divine presence is felt again in Zion. Page 240. Modim anachnu lach. God who is ours, God of all generations, to you we are grateful forever. 242. Kulam yitbarach v'yitromam shimcha malkeinu tamid leolam vaed uchtov lechayim tovim kol bnei b'ritecha. Inscribe your covenant partners for a life of goodness. Please inscribe your covenant partners for a life of goodness. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'eh lehodot. 244. Our God, divine presence, whose path our ancestors walked, bless us now with words first bestowed on Israel. In the time of Moshe and Aharon, the threefold blessing given us through Torah that joins our hopes with theirs. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yaseh May God bless you and protect you. May you receive the light of God's kindness and grace. And may God bestow favor upon you and give you peace. 246. Let there be peace. Grant goodness, blessing, and grace, constancy and compassion to us and all Israel and all people everywhere. Sim shalom, tuva uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol Yisrael, amecha. Sim shalom, tuva uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol Yisrael, amecha. Page 250. Yiyu l'ratzon yimrei fi Gion libi lefanecha Adonai Tzuri v'nomali. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, be acceptable to you. One more prayer for peace. I'm on page 250. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'emu. Amen. We're on page 252. Avinu Malkeinu Shema Kolenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strayed and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu Chamol aleinu, v'al olaleinu, v'tapeinu. Avinu malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu malkeinu, kale derev, v'cherev, v'ra'av, me'aleinu. Avinu malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu malkeinu, kale kol tzar umastin me'aleinu. Avinu malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu malkeinu, chotvenu b'sefer chayim tovim. Avinu malkeinu, enter our names in the book of lives well lived. Avinu malkeinu, chadesh aleinu shana tova. Avinu malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness. Avinu malkeinu, malei yadenu mibirchotecha. Avinu malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessings. Avinu malkeinu, harem kerem mishichecha. Avinu malkeinu, let our eyes behold the dawn of redemption. Avinu malkeinu, na'al tishivenu rekam milfanecha. Avinu malkeinu, we pray, do not turn us away from you with nothing. Avinu malkeinu, kabel berachamim uvratzon et tefillatenu. Avinu malkeinu, welcome our prayer with love, accept and embrace it. Avinu malkeinu, aseh imanu lema'an shemecha. Avinu malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name. Avinu malkeinu, aseh lema'anecha, yimlo lema'anenu. Avinu malkeinu, act for your sake, if not for ours. Avinu malkeinu, en lanu melech eleh ata. Avinu malkeinu, you alone are our sovereign. Avinu malkeinu, v'tach she'arei shemayim litfilatenu. Avinu malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open to our prayer. Avinu malkeinu, shema koleinu, chusrachem aleinu. Avinu malkeinu, hear our voice, treat us with tender compassion. Avinu malkeinu, chaneinu v'yaneinu. Avinu malkeinu, chaneinu v'yaneinu, ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu tzedaka v'chesed, ve'hoshienu. Please be seated and make yourselves comfortable. We're going to be continuing on page 256. These words, it is said that the divine spoke to Moses, saying, when the children of Israel misstep, have them pray these words. Adonai, Adonai, God, compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving, and true, showing mercy to the 1,000th generation, forgiving evil, defiance, and wrongdoing, granting pardon. We're on the top of page 256. Please rise. Our tradition is we say this prayer 3 times, each time growing in fervor. Adonai, Adonai, Ilrachum v'chanun, Erech hapayim v'rav chesed ve'emet, Notze chesed la'alafim, Nose avon v'afesha v'chata v'nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, Ilrachum v'chanun, Erech hapayim v'rav chesed ve'emet, Notze chesed la'alafim, Nose avon v'afesha v'chata v'nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, Ilrachum v'chanun, Erech hapayim v'rav chesed ve'emet, Notze chesed la'alafim, Nose avon v'afesha v'chata Please make yourselves comfortable and be seated. I hope everyone is taking good care of themselves this morning. Fasting is done not to make us suffer, but to take away the distractions of preparing food and eating food and the other restrictions that are observed on Yom Kippur are there for the same reason. If it's not healthy for you to be fasting, then you shouldn't be fasting. So whether you are abstaining from food or eating because it's a mitzvah to be eating and caring for yourself, I hope the day is going well for you. I want to talk about the Torah reading that we are about to have. A Torah reading from Deuteronomy. We're going to be in chapter 30. And it is a remarkable Torah reading, one of my most favorite. It talks about that Adonai will open our hearts and the hearts of our children to love Adonai, our God, with all of our hearts and all of our beings for the sake of our lives. That's so cool. The instructions here that Adonai gave to Moshe to give to all of us says that by making the right choice. What choice? Every moment in our lives we have a choice to make. Every moment. And it says if we make that choice, Adonai, the good choice, that Adonai will rejoice in our well-being, as Adonai rejoiced in our ancestors' well-being. Because you'll listen to the voice of Adonai, your God, keep the mitzvot, and the mitzvahs inscribed in the book, in Torah, and return, right, to do teshuvah. So what we're doing today, returning with all of our heart and all of our being to Adonai, our God. Now, because we are humans and not angels, every moment in our lives when we have a choice to make, we don't always make that choice. I don't believe any human does. That's why forgiveness is so important. Forgiving others and forgiving ourselves, because we are all human. But Adonai says if we keep returning, if we keep doing this teshuvah, it's not just for Yom Kippur. This is a daily way. This is the Jewish way of life. The Torah reading that we're going to hear says, for this mitzvah. What mitzvah? This mitzvah of always coming back, always returning to the awareness of the divine. For this mitzvah which I command you this day is neither beyond you nor far away. I love this because how often do we feel that making the right choice, or even knowing what the right choice is so far away, that it's beyond us. We can't figure it out. It says, it is not in heaven, causing you to say, who will go up to heaven on our behalf and get it for us? And let us hear it, that we may do it. And it's not across the sea, causing you to say, who will cross the sea on our behalf and get it for us? And let us hear it, that we may do it. No. The Torah says, no, it's not that far up, it's not that far out, it's not that far, it's not far away. This is so very near to you. Where is it? The Torah says it is in your mouth. Profound. It is in your mouth and in your heart that you can surely do it. Just that sentence alone is enough, could be the focus of a person's life for their entire life. What does that mean? That the mitzvah of being close to Adonai is so close that Adonai has placed it in our mouth and in our hearts. Behold, this day I place before you life and well-being, death and hardship. In that I command you this day to love Adonai and walk in the ways of your God, to observe the mitzvot, laws and judgments, so you may live and flourish, blessed by Adonai your God in the land that is about to be. So, these words are as pertinent today to us as they were to our ancestors when this was given. So how do we, you could say, oh, those are beautiful words. It's a great idea. It's a nice, I'd love to paint that as a painting. I'd love to write it as a story, but how does it relate to me in my life when I'm, shopping and raising my children and video chatting with my grandchildren and walking my dog and cleaning my house and trying to find a job or doing my job. What does this have to do with daily life? We can look to our texts, and we can look to the prayer that was just sung, Adonai, Adonai. God, compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving and true, showing mercy to the 1000th generation, forgiving evil, defiance, and wrongdoing, granting pardon. Okay, so how do we stay close? Stay close and fulfill the mitzvah of right living? Especially when we know we're human and we can't do it all the time. That we're going to fall off the wagon. We're going to miss the mark. We're going to misspeak. We're going to misstep. We can look at this list of God's attributes, and remember that we are all created b'tselem Elohim, in the image of the divine. This is stated in the opening of Torah. And for me, one of the most important teachings to remember. Because when I get angry, when I get filled with self-pity, when I feel judgmental, when I feel sorry for myself, it's a long list. We can all make these lists, because after all, we're human. When I'm in any one of those places, thinking I'm so misunderstood, or why does, any of those kind of things, I have fallen off the path, and I am farther away. I have distanced myself from the divine in that moment. Not that the divine has gone anywhere, but I have literally taken myself, a step or two back. We can look at this list of attributes of the divine, and anytime we see one of those attributes in someone else, anyone else, our partner, someone in our family, a neighbor, the person who delivers our mail, the checkout person at the grocery store, and we receive some kindness, some compassion, say someone forgives us for having just been a jerk, that is us drawing closer to the divine. That is the divine energy flowing through others. And say we can't find it in anybody else. We're feeling so isolated that we can't even see kindness or goodness coming from other people. It could happen. Then we can look at this list, pick one of these things, and ourselves enact it. We could choose to forgive someone that we don't really feel like forgiving. We could be compassionate to someone who we're so tired, we just don't even feel like being compassionate today. We could be loving. We could leave something on a neighbor's doorstep. Any of the smallest act of goodness is the divine flowing through us and allowing us to draw closer to the experience of the divine that is really in our mouth, in our hearts, around us all the time. This is something I love in our tradition's teaching. It's not just on Yom Kippur that we ask for forgiveness. In our daily prayers, we ask for forgiveness. It's such an acknowledgement that we are human. But if we're going to ask for it, we also have to give it. If we want people to be kind to us, we need to be kind. If we're missing love in our life, then we need to ramp up our love. If we feel misunderstood all the time and people don't get us, we need to listen more and try our best to be more understanding. This is my understanding of this text. And it's one way of looking at this text. We have countless ways of looking at our texts. Countless ways. And if you can hear the doorbell, maybe that's Mashiach wanting to come to Yom Kippur morning. So I want to wish you all every blessing of drawing closer and closer to the divine that is within all of us and around all of us. We are continuing with our Torah service this morning, and I'm so happy that we have Hildy Kaufman here to lay Torah for us. Thank you so much. We're going to have one aliyah, and this aliyah is for everyone and anyone who wishes it to be for them. As this reading that Hildy's going to be doing talks about that the divine is close, it's right here. But for those of us who sometimes don't always feel that, this aliyah is for those of us who want to feel that divine presence even closer in our lives. So we're going to begin with the Torah blessings that are on page 258. And when Hildy is chanting Torah, we will be on page 267. She was going to be beginning with verse 11. It's about 2/3 of the way down that page. So, beginning with the Torah blessings, let's find this reading, this beautiful reading. And I hope you'll join me. Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamivorach leolam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני, נותן התורה.
Amen. Ki hamitzvah hazot asher anochi metzavacha hayom lo nifleta hiv mimacha v'lo rechoka hiv lo v'shamayim hiv lemor mi ya'ale lanu hashamayma v'yikacheha lanu v'yashmi'enu ota v'na'asena v'lo me'ever layam hiv lemor mi ya'avar lanu el ever hayam v'yikacheha lanu v'yashmi'enu ota v'na'asena ki karov elecha hadavar me'od v'ficha uvilvavacha la'asoto.
Shkoach. Put your seats here. Beautiful, beautiful. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chaye olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. And for all who have risen for this aliyah, Meshaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Ve'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless you. May you feel the divine when you're lying down. May you feel the divine when you rise up. May you feel the divine surrounding you when you go out of your home, when you return to your home, when you speak to your friends and your family and go about your work and all that you do. And may you experience this all in good health and in safety in this new year.
My name is Lori Sturgis, and it is my honor to sing Debbie Friedman's Mishaberach, the healing prayer for this year's services. In this prayer, we ask for spiritual healing as well as physical cure, and we pray for the blessings of compassion, restoration, and strength. As you think of those dear to you who are in need of healing, call their names aloud and include yourself. We're all deserving of blessing. Bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor Abraham Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. 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 Let this be a blessing. Amen. 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 Let this be a blessing. Amen.
We're continuing on page 294. Shema Kolenu. Again, a reminder, this says, hear our prayer, not just hear mine, not just hear yours, hear our prayer. Another reminder that we're all connected. Shema Kolenu. Shema Kolenu. Adonai Eloheinu, chus rachem aleinu, v'kabel berachamim, uvratzon et tefilateinu. Shema Kolenu. Shema Kolenu. Ki lecha Adonai hochalnu, ata ta'aneh, Adonai Eloheinu. Hear our call, Adonai. Hear our call, our God. Show us compassion. Accept our prayer with love and goodwill. With hope, Adonai, we await you. Surely you, Adonai, our God, you will answer. Page 296, middle of the page. Ay, 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 ay. Ashamnu, bagadnu, gazalnu, dibarnu dofi. Ay, 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 ay. Hevirnu, vehirshanu, zadnu, chamasnu, tefalnu shaker. Yay, 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 ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Yatsnura, kizavnu, latsnu, maradnu, niatsnu, sararnu, avinu, pashanu, tsaranu, kishanu oref. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Rashanu, shichatnu, tiavnu, ta'inu, titanu. Of all these wrongs we are guilty. What a list. But it's in the plural. Because hopefully I haven't done all these things, and you haven't done all these things. But if I've done even one of these things, it affects you. And if you've done even one of these things, it affects me. Everything we do, it's such a profound teaching in our tradition. Everything we do, whether another human sees it or not, affects the entire world. The sages teach that in every moment where we have an opportunity to choose what action or what words to take, it can tip the scales of the world. Amazing. We're continuing on page 300 with Al Chet. Many people place a hand over their heart. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you under duress and by choice, and harm we have caused in your world consciously and unconsciously. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, the ways we have wronged you through our thoughtlessness, and harm we have caused in your world through impulsive acts of malice. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you by abusing our power, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers. Page 302, Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you by giving into our hostile impulses, and harm we have caused in your world through inflexibility and stubbornness. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world by making light of serious matters. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you in our routine conversations, and harm we have caused in your world through envy. V'al kulam Eloach slichot, selach lanu mechal lanu, kahaper lanu. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to at-one-ment. Page 304. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world by hating without cause. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you by losing self-control, and harm we have caused in your world through consumption of food and drink. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality, and harm we have caused in your world by hardening our hearts. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you through greed and exploitation, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business. Page 306. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you through our innermost thoughts, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor. Al Chet shechatanu lefanecha, for the ways we have wronged you by offering or accepting bribes, and harm we have caused in your world by profaning your name in public. V'al kulam Eloah slichot, selach lanu mechal lanu, kahaper lanu. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to at one. I am very grateful that Rabbi Avi Weiss, has written an alternative, Al Chet. And his alternative, Al Chet, focuses not on all the negative things that we collectively have done, but focuses, thankfully, on the good that we collectively have done. I invite you to repeat after me. We have loved, we have blessed, we have grown, we have spoken positively, we have raised up, we have shown compassion, we have acted enthusiastically, we have been empathetic, we have cultivated truth, we have given good advice, we have respected, we have learned, we have forgiven, we have comforted, we have been creative, we have stirred, we have been spiritual activists, we have been just, we have longed for Israel, we have been merciful, we have given full effort, we have supported, we have contributed, we have repaired. I love that. If we're looking for a way to focus for this new year, for a way to lift our spirits, I recommend saying that every day this year. Maybe we should take that on as a community and check back next year and see if we think that this prayer had some effect. I feel absolutely sure it would, for each one of us individually, and how could it not as a community? Top of 310. Ki anu amecha v'ata Eloheinu, anu vanecha v'ata Avinu, anu avdecha v'ata Adonenu, anu kahalecha v'ata chelkeinu, anu nachalatecha v'ata goraleinu, anu tzonecha v'ata roeinu, anu charmecha v'ata notrenu, anu va'ultecha v'ata yotzreinu, anu raitecha v'ata dodenu, anu segulatecha v'ata kiroveinu, anu amecha v'ata malkeinu, anu ma'amirecha v'ata ma'amireinu, ay 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 yirai ay yirai ay 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 ay. We are your people and you are our God. We are your children and you are our Father and our Mother. We offer you our words and you offer us yours. So forgive us, pardon us, lead us to at one. Please rise. I invite us all to turn to page 432. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל העמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 433, middle of the page. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Please be seated. We're going to turn to page 606 for Kaddish Yatom. As we remember all of our loved ones, I want to invite us, those of us who are missing our loved ones, the ones who are not with us in person anymore for our holidays and for our daily life. Feel that bond of love that was and that is and that always will be. I invite you to rise, and I invite you to call out the name of those you are recalling. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei araba, v'yalma divrach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, u'v'chayei v'chol beit Yisrael, Ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shmei d'kudashat barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata, de'amiran v'yalma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'al kol yoshvei tevel. V'imoru. Amen. And as that last paragraph says in the prayer we just recited, may the one who makes shalom bashamayim, peace in the heavens, make that peace for all of us, for all of Israel, and for all souls everywhere. May the memories of everyone we are all recalling, may the memories of our loved ones inspire us and lift us up and lead us to a more inspired and connective and loving life. May all their memories be for a blessing. We're going to just conclude with a nigun. Ay, 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 I want to thank all of you. Thank all of you for joining together. Even though you're not here in these seats, I feel you. I feel your presence, and I am so appreciative to be in community with each and every one of you, those I know and those I don't. Please be in touch. If you need any kind of support, please be in touch just to connect. Later today, we'll be completing our services at 6 o'clock. We're going to have Yizkor, 6:35 Ne'ilah, our final service of the day. And at the end of Ne'ilah, about 7 o'clock, we will have Havdalah, very short, beautiful ceremony to conclude the holiday. Again, I wish you an easy fast. And from the bottom of my heart, Shalom.